Hi, everybody. My name is Jennifer. This is Metatron speaking. I'm going to be talking to you today about the silver iris dragon. So I have been doing a lot of dragon videos lately. I have some really beautiful dragon energies that have been coming forward. And actually, this particular dragon, so the silver iris dragon and the aquamarine dragon, which is the dragon I spoke about in my last video, if you happen to watch that one, both of those dragons, Susan and I are going to be working with in our Patreon group, which is our Lightworker tribe. We're going to be working with both of those dragons to help us do some energy work on the earth. So that's actually originally why these dragons stepped forward. I did want to share the information publicly also because I think it's important. Whenever a new, right? They've always been around, but they're new to us. Whenever a new energy is stepping forward, or if they're new to me, I do like sharing that with everybody because I'm not the only person that knows these dragons. I'm not the only person that has a connection to them, or history with them, or loves them, or knows them. So I think it's always good to let yourself be exposed to these different guides to see which ones resonate with you. Now, sometimes you might hear about one of these dragons or guides, and you might not feel like you resonate with them necessarily. Happens to me. I'll hear about them, and I'm like, yeah, they sound nice, okay. But then once you feel their energy, it might be a completely different story. Because the energy does tell a story that I cannot tell. Like, I do my best to tell you guys the stories of the energy, but I always give the analogy of, like, my job, like, imagine someone they had never been in love, they had never loved anyone, and they ask you, like, what is love? Good luck explaining that one, right? Like, there are things in this world that you can't, there's no words for it. It's a feeling. What I'm going to do to start off this video, I'm going to use some of Amanda Ellis's sprays. Now, I talk about Amanda Ellis's sprays all the time, and this is because both Susan and I adore her work. We adore her sprays. These are little masterpieces. We get exactly $0 for advertising her work, just so you know. We don't show you her sprays and talk about her sprays because it's benefiting us personally. We're doing it because we are light workers who have benefited from using her tools. And so if we have tools that we really love, that are really working for us, we're going to tell you guys about it, because it doesn't matter if you guys are working in a energy healing capacity or you're doing professional spiritual work. These potentially could enhance your spiritual journey. So you do not have to buy these in order to benefit from the energies right now. That's what's really cool about video and pictures. I'm going to spray these. You probably won't smell them. Some of you have that ability, so some of you will smell these. I don't have that ability. I don't have spiritual smell ability. But I'm going to spray these to call in the energy of the silver iris dragon. Now, you never need a tool to call in a guide. They will come in. If you think about them, if you say their name, they will just show up because they want to show up. They want to interact with you. And honestly, that's whether you're calling in a guide that is for your greatest and highest good, or whether you're calling in something that's not for your greatest and highest good. Everything in the spiritual world responds immediately when you reach out. Okay, what I'm going to use, because I have to get creative, Amanda Ellis does not have a silver iris dragon spray. If you're watching, Amanda Ellis, I would love to buy that spray if you want to make it. But until then, I will be creative with the help of Merlin, I'm gonna use 3 sprays because anything less would not be appropriate for this dragon. Okay, you probably can't read this because of the label. It does say silver. This is meant for the crown chakra. I'm using it because it holds the vibration of silver, which is important because it's the silver iris dragon. I'm going to be using our unicorn spray over here. So this is playtime and creativity, which I guess that kind of actually goes with it. So the reason I'm doing the rainbow is this dragon is like a medium silverish gray color and has like rainbow over these scales. Like there's a rainbow shine or sheen to the scales. So I want to include both of these. I'm also going to bring in Sanat Kumara Love and Light, which is the tool that I use whenever I want to call in crystalline energies, which is just another word for really high frequency. Really high, and normally it's archetypal. Does it have to be? No. It means it's the most pure form of that energy. It's the original energy that all other energies come from. So for example, if you think of dolphins, there's such a thing as a crystalline dolphin or crystalline dolphins. It's a collective, to be honest. So that holds this frequency. And so that is the original energy that is pulled from anytime a planet has any kind of dolphin on it. It pulls from that energy, that original pure energy. Okay, let me see. I'm going to do these one at a time because I don't think I can spray 3 things at once. So maybe I'll do these 2. Okay, we'll do one. Silver, rainbow, and crystalline. Love and light. Yep. Okay. Let me pull up my notes so I can talk to you about this dragon. So honestly, the first thing I thought when I saw this dragon is, oh my gosh, this is the most beautiful dragon I've ever seen in my life. The rainbow colors on this thing were insane, and I just wasn't. I don't know if. Let me ask. No. I was like, hey, is my clairvoyance getting better? Do all dragons have this? And I just didn't notice because my clairvoyance wasn't as good back then. And he's like, no, this is actually just, I'm not getting better. The dragons are getting better. Okay, so the dragon has scales. We talked about it being kind of a medium to dark gray. There's a rainbow color on top. The claws were dark. They were like a dark gray, and they looked like a dark gray velvet, and and because they looked like velvet, I had to touch them and they felt like velvet. This is an air dragon, which is what I tend to see with crystalline dragons. No, not really. I guess a lot of them have been fire. So it's an air dragon. Air dragon means the body is long. The legs are short. They've got these whiskers. They normally don't have wings. They are dragons that humans or beings that look like humans ride upon these dragons on 7th dimensional planets to like be transported. This is an ethereal dragon. So the one I'm seeing, this is not the guy that like incarnates on planets. I mean, I guess he could. But the form that I'm seeing him in is crystalline. It's ethereal. It's not meant to be a physical form. Its eyes are green and lavender. That was interesting, only because I normally don't notice what color their eyes are. And when I do, I haven't seen 2 colors mixed, so that was interesting. This dragon blows flames, which I don't know that I've ever seen a dragon that couldn't blow flames, which is funny because you think of fire dragons and that's like their trademark, right? Fire breathing dragon. Right? Everybody blows. Thank you. All of them blow. Yeah. Air, fire, forest. That's like a dragon thing. So that's got to stay. So the flames are they're like a silver color, but because they glow, they almost glow like a white color versus a silver color. The flames take on the appearance of both fire and plasma is the word I'm using because I don't know what to say. The flames have it almost seems like lava is what I wrote. The flames kind of seem like lava because they are both fire and like a thick liquid, like a fluid for lack of better description. It is a beautiful flame. It holds all the colors of the rainbow within it, though it mostly shines a whitish silver. So if you can just imagine this like white, silver, glowing, liquid, flaming diamond, that is what I was looking at. It was gorgeous. And so, when I looked at it, I was like so in love with it that I said, like right then and there, I told Metatron, I was like, I am going to have a service that uses this flame. I do not know how, but it's happening because that thing is so beautiful. I'm like, I didn't even know what it did, right? I don't even know what it does, but I'm like, we are using that. It is too magical and it calls to me too much not to use it. So more to come on that. So interacting with this dragon, I could feel my heart chakra opening. So this actually ends up being clues for me because this dragon wants to work with me on a service and I'm just recognizing it after the fact. So I felt my heart chakra opening. I feel love from this dragon. There is I say there's a seriousness. I don't know if that's the right word. There's like a thoughtfulness to this dragon. And it reminded me of Metatron because the dragon is just kind of calm and loving, but just kind of looking at me. And it just reminds me of the way Metatron or different incarnations of Metatron often like look at me. And it's just with so much love, but it's also kind of almost like a fatherly energy where they just care about your well-being and there's like nothing you could do to make them not love you is kind of the energy of what they give off. It is a gentleness and a concern for the well-being of others. Yet, this dragon is a powerhouse. This dragon is ultimate power that is only dispersed gently, mindfully. So it's like this dragon has all this ability, but he's so thoughtful and he's so aware and he's only doing what's necessary. The dragon sets my mind on fire energetically, and I feel as a film. That's the best way I could describe it. A really thin layer of something burned off of my brain. And when this happens, and this keeps happening to me. Every time a guide is doing something wild with my head, I can hear better. Like I can not my guides, I can physically hear better. Well, all of a sudden my ears feel really clear is my best description. But even though my ears were getting more clear, my mind was still foggy while the flame was in there. It was still doing work and my head itself was foggy. You remember me is what this dragon says to me. First thing they say, you remember me. And I'm like, no, I don't. Not yet. I don't remember anything yet. The sound of his voice is familiar and important, but I have no memory. So he's doing work on me. He is placing little jewels in my head, and he's doing it from like maybe about here, and he's going all the way across to about here. And so he's placing these jewels in me, and these jewels are all a different shape, and they are all like a whitish silver. So they all look like his flame, but in a jewel form. And so he's like embedding these in my head. And when I'm trying to look at the shapes, my brain cannot understand what shapes they are. And so I know that when that happens, it's because I'm looking at a shape that is held in a higher frequency than 4D, because anything above that, our brains can't register yet unless you have some kind of special extra chakras turned on, and I don't. So I had to ask him. I was like, so what dimensional energy are we working with here? Because my 3D brain can't see it. And he told me 9th dimensional. So this is important because essentially this dragon is going to be pulling me into 9th dimensional energies. And so towards the end of this video, or a little bit deeper into this video, you're going to start hearing me speaking while in those 9th dimensional energies. So these jewels that he's placed along half of my head, they start blooming, like little flowers start coming out of all of these jewels. And as the flowers bloom, my mind gains clarity. So this is interesting because if you watch the last video that I put out where I talked about the aquamarine dragon, there was a point where I had this giant white flower on my head, and I pulled off the flower, and my crown chakra was all like silver sparkly, like it was looking amazing. And the aquamarine dragon was like, that was the silver iris dragon that did that. And so now, again, they must have put a jewel in my crown, and I didn't see that part. I just saw the big flower afterwards. But again, we're doing little flowers, and I was gaining clarity from it. And then right after that, I started having a vision, and I could see myself in a different body. So I still looked human. I still had blonde hair, but different body. I'm wearing like flowing clothing. I have a different face. I am on another world with this dragon. I know it must be the 9th dimension, because for us to have that little chat right then, that was like, oh, what dimension is this? That was so I could understand the dragon was going to take me into that dimension. There are no bodies above the 7th dimension. So anytime you see a body and you are higher than the 7th dimension, it is a projection. It is a projection of what your energy or someone else's energy wants to look like, but it's not technically, it's not physical. So that's a way that we were choosing to look. So I was choosing to look like a different blonde woman. The dragon was choosing to look like a dragon that, to me, looked the same as how they looked from the beginning. Let me see. The world we are in seems to have a lot of gold or a lot of yellow. So I'm looking at this dragon, and I'm trying to take in information where we are, because I'm like, ooh, we're in the 9th dimension. What does that look like? And so I'm like trying to tune in to the background, and they're not letting me. It's blurred. It is very like a yellow or gold color, but I couldn't pick up any detail whatsoever. It kind of makes sense because 8th dimension through 12th dimension, our brain can't handle it. Like, to be honest, if we saw it accurately, I think it wouldn't make any sense. I think it wouldn't be helpful. And so they tend to either blur out what is there, or they like simplify it for me. So I just tried to feel the energy, because I was like, okay, if I'm not allowed to see it, I'll just feel it. And so I was feeling into this like yellow gold And I was like, well, it kind of feels like we're outside. It kind of feels like maybe we're in a field. Like it just felt like kind of open, and it felt kind of like warm and wonderful and comforting. And I wrote down, it feels like paradise. And when I wrote down, it feels like paradise, I just started sobbing. So this is my soul's recognition of my love for that space. We're basically in the dragon realm in the 9th dimension. The dragon realm, let me see. Dragon realm is 7D through 12D. So they have a huge space that crosses many dimensions. So this was the 9th dimension, and I like it there apparently because I was just like, ugh, my soul missed it. So basically, for the remainder of what I'm channeling, I'm crying pretty hard, to be honest with you. So this is what I said. There is love from this dragon. Feel the love energy from the dragon. The dragon moves me up higher into a space of dark cosmos. So it's just like pitch black, bunch of white stars. Dragon pulls me up there, and as the dragon pulls me up there, my hair is like floating. And I was like, are we in the 12th dimension? Like, are we in the realm of the gods? Because the realm of the gods, they always show me floating hair. And they're like, he's like, no, we're not in the realm of the gods. The dragon was just playing with me. He's being playful. And the dragon being playful with me was making me start to remember something. Like there was a memory that wanted to come up as this was happening. And so I'm trying to figure it out. When we remember things like that, and when we remember times or events that are in the 8th through 12th dimensions, it's not going to come back super visual. It might, but it's probably going to come back more as a feeling. And so that's trickier to remember. But so a memory wants to surface in me. I'm trying to feel the memory. It wants to be remembered. In the memory, I feel like a child. Like literally, I'm like, am I a little kid? But it feels like the dragon is a little kid too. The dragon feels like my childhood friend, my childhood playmate, the love of my soul. Like I'm trying to give you guys words for what's going on. And I'm literally like calling this dragon the love of my soul. It's like this dragon is like everything, is what it feels like. This dragon is like everything I love. And so the dragon says, within each of you are these memories. Within each of you are these memories. Your energy body holds all of your memories. It is only your mind that is unaware. Trust what you feel more. I feel, and so this is me talking again, I feel intense love and connection to this dragon. Yet somehow their energies are mixed in a way that I am not able to trace them back to the energies that I usually use as a reference point. So, okay, and I'm gonna end up using props for you guys because I do this really stupid human thing. We all do this where we try to understand and organize and categorize things. And that's just because we have a 3D brain and that's what works for the 3D brain. But it really doesn't work when you're dealing with these vast, divine, infinite energies. It doesn't work, but the brain still tries to do it. So usually when I feel into someone's energy or something's energy, I compare it to the archangels. I go, does this feel like Michael? Does this feel like Raphael? Does this feel like Ariel? Like that's my reference point, is using archangel energy. In this case, it didn't work. They did not feel like one of the archangels. And so the way that dragon energy is divided is different than the way archangel energy is divided, and I'm going to explain that in a second. The dragon, the silver iris dragon, I could feel what felt like multiple archangel energies on them. So they felt a whole lot like Raziel. I could feel a little bit of Michael. I could feel a little bit more of Jeremiel, archangel of dreams and visions. And there are possibly others in the energy, right? So I didn't grab my props. I'm going to go grab my props. So hold please. I'm going to show you a diagram. Okay. So I have explained, I've tried to explain similar ideas to this before on different videos, but I think it helps sometimes to have pictures, especially if you're a visual learner like me. So bear with me. This is not a perfect diagram, but I think it might help some of you with trying to understand what information I'm coming across when I'm feeling into energy. So I want to talk about source energy, or like the one energy, because that contains everything. And so, this is my example of source energy, or like the one energy. So I'm using colors to explain my point. So I didn't have yellow. I did not have yellow, but so you're going to see all these different colors. And then I also included black, because black is the darkness, and source, or the one energy, is everything. So we're going to have all the different colors in there, and we're also going to have darkness. This is my example of archangels. So, you know, these colors match up to the best of my ability just for the example. So let's pretend each color is a different archangel, right? So there's no darkness here because archangels are only light. So this is one way. Archangels are one way to divide up the one energy. And then down here we have darkness, which would be like demons, right? Again, oversimplifying, so just forgive me here. Let me show you the next page. So let's see if I can bend this. Let me see if I can bend this. Oh, this might be good. Okay. So let me see if I can bend this. On the top, I still have source, or one energy, which is everything. Then here, I want to show you the silver iris dragon. So it's almost like there's a whole lot of Raziel, a little bit of Michael, a little bit of Jeremiel, and of course, it's a dragon. It has darkness. And so this is me showing that from those rainbow of colors, it's almost like certain amounts, certain ratio of each of these different energies were pulled into one being. And so with dragons, I believe this is what is happening. And I'm actually starting to believe that this is also either the way that some or all souls are put together, because, and I don't think I've mentioned this before in a video, so not the archangels, but if you look at other angels, and you feel into their energy, they are combination energies. And so I'm going way on a tangent here, guys, but I'm just going to do it. For example, my guardian angel, Feywanel, so different versions of him always hang out right here with me, and I adore him. So his angel form, for the longest time, I thought was Archangel Raphael. Just Archangel Raphael. Over time, I've realized that there is Archangel Michael energy in there too. And so it kind of messes with my mind that he is somehow a part of two different archangels. And there could be other energies in there too, right? I'm only feeling what I feel. So I suspect that many of us, or all of us, are different combinations of the one energy. And if you want to get really complicated, so all of us, let's do an example. So all of us are actually this, right? All of us are technically the full rainbow and the darkness, right? That's what we all are. But when we decide to incarnate, we choose our mask. We choose who we're going to be for this experience. And so we're like, yeah, I'm going to try out what this is like. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of here. But underneath, we're technically all source. Okay. Hope I blew up some brains. Probably didn't. You guys are so on point with this stuff that normally it's only my brain that's blowing up and all of you are fine. Okay. Back to the silver iris dragon. So that dragon has me completely in ninth dimensional energies at this point. I'm like crying. I'm like philosophical. So you might hear that in what I'm saying. The silver iris dragon, so they touched my feet, and that really messed me up because, and this is a personal hallmark of mine, where if a guide touches my feet, that is symbolic for they know me, they love me, I am safe with them. It like means all these different things, and so this dragon does it, and it's like, we love each other is like the message. And so it makes me cry. So what I say is, how insane that some of my favorite energies in all creation, right? Like, I love Michael. I love Raziel. I love Dremiel. How crazy that some of my favorite energies in all of creation are combined into a single creature. It feels like I am in the presence of magic. And so I hate language. I hate language because me reading, it feels like I am in the presence of magic. That means nothing when I'm reading it. But oh my God, when you are feeling it, and that's the best way to describe it, it's like the most intense, beautiful feeling. And I'm so sorry that all I have are words to give all of you. There are things I feel now that there are no words for. Only crying comes. Do you remember the first time you saw a dragon or a unicorn or something magical as a child? It feels like that moment. It feels like I am reunited with the world I love most, but have completely forgotten. It is the feeling of everything you dream of being made. Let me try that again. It is the feeling of everything you dream of being made real and then touching it. It is impossible, but is everything that the soul longs to be reunited with, and it does exist. I was not expecting it to be this magical. I was not expecting it to be this real. So this is me. I'm just face to face with that dragon. That's just me talking, trying to put words to the feelings. So the silver iris, I can't say this anymore. The silver iris dragon, this is what they say. I am the emotional healing that leads you back to your soul's longing. What wounds are preventing you from experiencing all that is? I remove the illusion, and I plant seeds of the highest frequency, and from them grows clarity and truth. I am divine inspiration, connecting you with dreams and creative solutions. I connect you with pathways that you were previously blind to. I am magic. I am the gateway to wonder and satisfaction. I bring the deepest desires of the soul to life. I am the journey of self-expression in its purest form, without fear, without censoring, without limits, and from the deepest emotions within. I remind you that your purpose is expression and creativity, originality and vulnerability. Like a child, you must seek your dreams to see them materialize. Like a child, you must wander boldly into the thicket, not knowing what lies ahead, but enjoying every step. I love you. I will always love you. I'm just trying to breathe for a hot second because he's giving me a little bit of energy. I will always love you. There is nothing that can separate you from me. The absence of a visual memory does not mean it did not happen. The absence of a visual memory does not mean that I am gone. I am still here, and so is everything beautiful that has ever happened to you. The love you have known in any dimension lives on. It is still alive and well. It is still thriving and full. We do not love you less because you cannot remember right now. You were meant to forget, and now you can choose to remember slowly. In each memory of love that you allow yourself to recall, your heart grows larger and you heal. Your hearts have become small and hardened compared to what they could be. I will remind you, and I will help you to regain more of the soul while in the body. More trust, more play, more delight, more inspiration, more experimentation, more wonder, more possibilities, and so much more love than what you can even hold. Walk with me into the infinite. Dance with me into parts unknown. What you release in control, you will gain in magic. What you release in logic, you will gain in love. Nothing is given up without something more wonderful stepping forward into its place. Okay, so that is the channeled message from this dragon. I am like head over heels enamored with this being. I will be creating a service with them at some point. I will be working with them in our Patreon group pretty soon. So this is everything that I have for you guys. I hope I didn't go too far off on a weird tangent with the with my little diagram, but if it helps you, cool, hang on to it. If it's not helpful, just get rid of it, because, you know, again, it's I can't help myself, right? I think a lot of us can't help ourselves. We always want to understand it, even if it's never going to be accurate. There's no diagram that's ever going to be accurate, but I'm giving you the best I have at this point in time. In the future, I might go back and say, you know what, that diagram was horrible. Let me rework this. Let me show you what it's really like. And then perhaps it'll be a little bit closer to the truth than this time. Okay. This is everything that I have for all of you. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.